Hello, I'm going to give you some reasons or some ways that you can make flying greener. We talk about greener. What would you say in Japanese? I think eco, like eco, we'd say in English, eco, being more environmentally friendly. Now, the problem with flying, as it says in the text, uses, I think it causes 5% of all the bad emissions, all the gases that go into the atmosphere that cause global warming. Now, flying is not a green activity. It's very, very bad for the environment. It's difficult though, because for me, I live in Japan, as you know. My family comes from England, so of course I want to visit there as often as I can. In fact, next month I'll be flying off for 2 weeks, just over 2 weeks, to see family. So I don't like to feel guilty that I'm doing something terrible, but the fact is, burning gasoline high up in the atmosphere is not a good idea if you want to stop global warming. And you know, global warming is becoming a big issue. That's the cause of all the forest fires that are raging out of control, and the fact that the temperature keeps getting hotter every year. Every year there are records broken for how hot it is. At some point, um, we'll be killing off all life if it continues at this rate. So we have to do something about it. What can we do? Well, a very small thing you can do is make your flying footprint, your what do we call it? The carbon footprint, how much carbon dioxide you create, reducing that as much as possible. How can you do that if you're going to fly? Well, reduce the amount that you fly, if possible. Number two, uh, don't have numerous flights. Have just one direct flight, if possible. Don't have carry-on bag. Sorry, don't have don't uh, not okay. Well, have carry-on bags. Don't store the bags, like taking giant suitcases, because every every bit of weight that you're taking with you is increasing the amount of fuel that the aircraft will burn. So therefore, reduce the amount that you carry. So just have a carry-on bag. Don't check in large suitcases. Fly with newer airlines that use newer aircraft. They burn less fuel. But I mean, ultimately, I don't know if any of these things make much of a difference, but we have to try, right? I think. Anyway, some of the from an English point of view, the vocabulary there is we in English we usually use the word green to talk about environmentally friendly things. So we need greener transportation, we need green energy, um, things like recycling and so on. I think in Japanese you say eco, right? Um, we would say green in English. Okay. It's a difficult topic because I think in Japan people don't talk about it that much. It's a big topic in Britain. People are always talking about it, and there's a campaign to stop using oil, um, and there are a lot of campaigners that block a motorway, an expressway, and stop all drivers and saying, "Think about it, you're burning gasoline." And electric vehicles are becoming more popular in America and Britain, not really popular in Japan yet. So I just wonder, at some point, the government or the people will rise up and say, we can't keep burning gasoline and causing more problems. Every year it gets hotter, right? There's a reason for that. We're the reason. Anyway, yeah, it's a very political discussion, isn't it? It becomes that way, but what can you do? I mean, the alternative is to ignore it and say, oh, it doesn't matter. Let's just keep flying and not worry. At some point, we have to do something about it, and sooner the better. Anyway, let's see now. There are three questions here. Number one, are you concerned about global warming? Why or why not? Number two, which of these suggestions are the most practical, which are not? So practical means most easy to do, which are not easy to do. And number 3, should we fly at all? Is it a good idea to be flying at all? Shouldn't we be doing something more eco-friendly, greener? I don't know. What do you think? Okay, I'll leave you to it and see you next time. Thank you very much. Bye bye.